Guus, good afternoon. For team news, please, and particularly, is Pato available to be involved, or is he still somewhere of fitness?
He is somewhere in fitness. Yesterday he has to do this bureaucratic stuff, which we have to accept. But he was out of the country to come into the country. This paperwork done. So he had worked for a few training sessions now. He will be in, of course, this afternoon, and I don't know if he still is up to the game. We'll decide it later afternoon. But he's in, let's say, preparation and not fully fit to act, I think.
So he's in the country. Is he available for selection? Has the paperwork all gone through?
When the paperwork is done and formally he is available, yes. But that's another thing. Then also physically, mentally, he has done hardly a training session with the whole team.
Seems unlikely that he'll be able to play anytime soon. He's not played a game since November, has he?
Yeah. That's why we have to be not careful, but to prepare him very well as soon as possible, because we have a tight schedule coming up.
Anyone else that out for the game or out for the game?
The usual is not a good word. Falcao is out. Sorry to. No, I like the guy and he's desperate to get fit, etc., etc. So sorry for this word, but it was the last week.
Sure. Were you surprised that John Terry made the announcement that he did, the way he did it after the game on Sunday?
Yeah, well, he is of course he. First of all, it's the formal language I respect, but I don't want to say respect, but I like him very much the way he is. Playing and committed to the team, and he will be. I can assure you that, because I had also some conversations with him in the past days about all kinds of things in football. And it was said by John, and he is entitled after his contract is expiring at the end of the season to make up his mind. That's true. On the other hand, there is, and I don't want to over value the attention we are giving. There's also the club size. I think they still wants to have the dialogue, etc., to have an open door still. So it was a bit surprising, but he's completely entitled to do so when his contract is expiring.
Strictly speaking, it's not John making the decision, though, is it? Because he has to be offered a contract to be able to choose to stay or go. So it's the club's decision, isn't it? Not his.
No, I think there was no specific decision made yet. It's early. I think we have to see that in the progress of what's coming up in the transition of the management, etc., as well. And then, that's all. Not all. Yeah, I'm rather open to speak about it. But that's, I think, the main things we have to say about this from his side and from the club side.
Based on the sort of statistics that you would see, you know, the fitness levels that he's got, pass completion, tackles won, all those kind of things, do you think the numbers back up the fact that he could still compete at the Premier League level next season? And if so, does that not make a case for him staying here?
Well, we say that the door is not shut. Dialogue is always possible, but John's statistics, not just that, but also the view and I have on him that he's very fit, and he is not what you normally see, a 35 or 36-year-old player, which I have on a lower level experience as well, that you feel that you get a little bit slower. You cannot accept it. You're getting into a danger zone where you're going into red cards, etc., but none of that for John. He's fit and he's performing as he is doing while I'm here, and he will do, and I'm convinced, because we also talked about this issue, that he will do regardless the situation in which the club and he is in now. He will be very, not just professional, but with all his heart as well.
One thing that doesn't quite make sense is that John was told that he has to wait because the club are uncertain about who the manager is going to be next season, yet they were still able to sign the guy from New York Red Bulls, still able to sell Ramirez, and still able to give Branislav Ivanovic a new contract. So
I think you have to see every issue in this, and the naming you do as the individual case.
What do you mean?
I think with Remy or with Ramirez is nothing to do with John's case.
But they're saying that they can't do it for him because they don't know who the manager is, but they can decide to sell or buy other players.
At this point, you're right, but I think it's also, he's one of the key players and has been one of the key players.
Is it just a situation?
And he's still.
Sorry. Is it just a situation where the club are protecting the new manager who comes in the summer from having to make a difficult decision?
That's up to not to me to answer.
Yeah. And I think on any wider issues there, I think it's important that we have said that we will continue speaking to John. That dialogue is open. The door is still open. But we prefer that dialogue is conducted in private. And so I don't think there's very much more that Guus can say on the issue, to be perfectly honest. So we will need to move on.
Last one I'll try. Do you think you could see him playing for Chelsea next season?
I try. You said it try, so try again. It's not up to me. It's.
During January, you said that while the window is open, the club will stay shut. Now that the window is shut, hopefully you can talk a little bit about the transfer business. Are you happy with what the club did in January?
There was not much to say because we didn't want to do much. We did some small things where we thought, hey, we were a little bit under. Yeah, it's two less players for one or two positions, and there the club responded.
Is it going to be difficult to get the best out of Remy when he knows the club were prepared to sell him?
I don't know if it's true that the club were prepared to sell it. You have to ask the other people who are responsible for selling and buying.
Do you think it will be okay to get the best out of him? Do you think he'll be able to do that?
When Remy is fit, then he is one of us again.
And will Radamel still leave this month? I think China is still an option for him.
I can't say at this moment.
In terms of Pep Guardiola, big story this week, announced that he's going to go to Manchester City. What's your reaction to that news that he comes here to the Premier League?
I think it's not big news. I think people expect it already when he said I'm leaving Bayern and like to go to Premier League, which is a very attractive league also for the younger managers to act in this league is beautiful. And he will face another league than he is used to. I think with the clubs where he was there, you have always this kind of domination by the teams where he worked, and he did. No one can achieve what he did. But this is a little bit different. He will get used to it, I think, in England, because there's no specific favorite as there is always in Spain with Barcelona, Madrid. And in Germany, I think the only one who can be assured already in September to be the new champion, which is Bayern. It's different in England, but it's even more for him, more attractive.
Do you feel a little bit sorry for Manuel? He won the double in his first season. He now has to kind of play out the rest of this season knowing that he's leaving. And do you think he might be a good manager for Chelsea? He knows this league inside out and available in the summer.
Well, that's up to Chelsea to decide. What I think of him, not meeting him or not have talked to him, I admire his approach of the football, of the game, of his team. A well balanced manager, and I respect him without having no at this moment.
Guus, how difficult is it to make that transition to manage in the Premier League?
How difficult it is?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I think it's not that difficult because you have, or in this case, they have a lot of time to prepare for the new year, and then they know the plans, I think, properly, and then you can adjust to that. But it's a new experience. It's a new experience knowing that every week or every 3-4 days there will be huge opposition. But he will be told he's not his first year. He's very experienced in his career, and he has also the Spanish guys who are in Manchester City already many years, knowing this league.
Is it the toughest league to manage in, do you think, the Premier League?
And managing? Oh, I think I like the attitude generally of the English football and the approach of English football, with all the little and bigger things and the incidents and whatever. But I think the love for the game in this country is huge, and that's what makes it very attractive for managers to work in this league with ups and downs.
Chelsea are on a good run at the moment. I think the maximum you can get to this season is 73 points. So if you are going to finish fourth, how many games do you think you can lose, if any?
He's the specialist on the average points we have to. I think you have to reschedule a bit your 2.79 or something like that. I don't know. I have not calculated because I go from one game to the other game. And if we doing as we are doing the last couple of games, then we'll be okay.
I think the average is 72 points, I think, to finish fourth. So there's not much margin.
No.
For error.
So you have to reschedule your
3 points a game.
Okay.
How close the team?
But that's what I said before. Coming into this league, you know the opposition. Wherever you go, it's rather difficult to get in a sequence of winning.
Will that be a surprise for Pep Guradiola? Do you think he's not used to that? I wouldn't have thought.
Well, he's not naive. He knows that, and he's stable in this. I know him personally, and he's very stable person.
Gus, you mentioned that you know him well. Just tell us a bit about his personality, what he's like as a person, Pep.
Well, he was when you saw him playing, and then you can also deduct a lot of when you see people playing in his game. Then he was already the conductor, the tactical leader of Barcelona at his time when he was playing. And after that, I met him once or twice on the pitch because I was working there with a team which we hired a training ground, and he was with the second team. So he came off the youth as well, so he knows very well what he's doing, and he's a very kind, but he knows what to do person.
It's good for the Premier League as well that the person many see as the best manager in the world is coming to this competition.
We want the best quality in this country.
And just looking at the Watford game, it wasn't that long ago since you last played them. They gave you a very tough test at Stamford Bridge.
Yeah, they did. They have a very dangerous team. They can score any moment. The strikers were very dangerous, and they have the very well organized team around them. And I know he was my player, Quique Sanchez Flores. I know how he can construct a team and make it very solid and difficult to beat.
Does it show how competitive the Premier League is that Watford are doing so well, having only just come up this season, as you say, for the challenges that Guardiola will face? Yeah,
that's why when you compare a bit what you sometimes like to do, not too much with the past, but my first experience was the cup game we had against Watford in 2009. So it was rather an easy game for Chelsea, on 60% of effort. And nowadays it's impossible to think like that. So it means that it has grown a lot, and the gap between at that time the top clubs and let's say the lower qualified clubs now has not vanished, but is reduced.
Do you want to wrap up for us, Matt?
Just a couple of team news questions. Willian, how is he? Is he fit to play?
Willian yesterday did not go onto the pitch because he has a slight contusion in his foot. Today I think he will be on the pitch, and we'll see how his reaction is after training.
And Matt Miazga, is he in the squad?
He is not in the squad yet because he's also in the preparation, and we'll see for tomorrow. We make the list after today's training, the conclusions of this training.
And Remy, is he fit?
Remy has his injury on his calf since 10 days. So he will not be available.